Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video, and well, back with another exploration of like underground tape culture, like from the late 90s, and also a seminal release for me in multiple levels, I guess, because this was basically the first iteration of Italian post-rock, noise rock and related stuff I ever received, and also probably the first like tape EP that I saw. So this was sent to me by a label that is seminal in like shaping my taste in the late 90s, early 2000s, which was DHYANA Records from Augsburg, run by BANDCAMP. That's a label that later on my label NOISEROCK Recordings and DHYANA Records also did a like split release as we got along pretty well. And yeah, the tape in question is this one. I hope you can see this, but I will take this out in a minute. ONQ, So One With Care. This is like upside down, so I gotta hold this in a specific way so the cassette doesn't fall out. And ONQ was a project, or still is, I don't know, run by an Italian guy that was called Luca Galoppini. This was released in late 1999. This is a 5-track EP cassette thing, and yeah, as you can see here, very DIY. This is the B side, this is the A side, 5 tracks on there. We got Clean Up and Tar on the A side, and Odgiano We Wake and He's Pregnant Again on the B side, of which maybe He's Pregnant Again is my favorite, just because it's an instrumental track and it's very like noisy and post-rocky overall. So but post-rock in terms of multiple layered guitars and effects, and basically no drums, which goes for most of the tracks on here as well. All of those are very dense, very noisy and distorted, but not in a like abrasive way, but more in a like way that adds like a lot of space. And I think even the vocals are like multiple layers on top of each other, and the same with the guitars, and a lot of like effects, pedals and stuff. So very trippy, which I at the time when I reviewed this, I guess classified as post-rock. Now in hindsight, I would say, well, yeah, we got post-rock elements in there, especially for the final track, but it's also a lot of like noise rock, which was a term I wasn't like familiar with back then because I came from like electronics, and also like some like ethereal post-punk and that kind of related stuff, and like not really goth, but kind of goth adjacent in a way that like a group like Eyeless in Gaza would be goth adjacent kind of. So once again, here is the cover. This is might be a little bit reflective because this is a kind of like color Xerox copy, probably done in some like public space or in a university or whatever. So this is just thick paper, very DIY, hand folded, and we got an inlay in there as well, which provides the address of Mr. Galoppini from back in the 90s, as well as a kind of like statement which is very like resonating with DIY culture. Super interesting stuff. I listened to this once again after I pulled this up from the archives like a few minutes ago, and decided that I'm gonna do like a kind of series about DHYANA Records releases as well over time, because that label has been like super important to me and to a lot of other people as well, not only for its stylistic like diversity, but also because of the fact that it provided a starting point for many artists I know, and I was like, as I was in touch with them pretty regularly at the time, I think I was the one who had like Sascha Müller having a like compilation release on there with Japanese Game Room. Jens K., who released on my label later, had also like a drum and bass track on one of the compilations, and me and my former production partner, DJ partner, home base of the early 2000s. We did like a few like compilation tracks as well as Introterrine Alliance with like both hardcore industrial drum and bass as well as like a more dark ambient experimental thing for a special compilation, and Xotox released on there as well as Xotox and as Orbicybe and FS Blum, Frank Schultke Blum, who did a release on there, or many release, more than one release on there, but one that was very like well important for me in terms of like also like post-rock ambient with horns and stuff, and LXD of Phantom Noise Records, I guess, did releases or contributions to compilations on there, and a lot of people that were active in the noise, breakcore, experimental, industrial, underground tape scene and CDR scene also released on there. And yeah, this is ONQ, So One With Care. It's super important, super beautiful. The tracks of those are on YouTube, I guess, so I recommend to listen to this for a reason. Super underground. I don't know how many copies they made, and it's not stated on Discogs, but I think, I don't know, was there a numberation on there? No, but I think it's like 50 or so, so super rare Italian stuff. Very touching, yeah, very DIY in a way in terms of like sound aesthetics, but also super fascinating. And even though it's like feedback heavy and a little bit like off sounding in terms of harmonics, it's like super soothing to me. And yeah, one of those tapes that like manifested what DHYANA Records was all about. And they sent me this as a promo. I guess they were one of the early labels that sent records to me and tapes and stuff and tape compilations to write about on the like German version of my website nightsales.de, which was launched in like 98 or so, and then vanished from the internet as the CMS wasn't like suitable anymore, and what became too impractical to handle, and I switched like to the normal format in 2005. But still, yeah, DHYANA Records, I got many of their releases, and not all of them were sent to me, but I also acquired some later via trades. Those I will feature as well. It's also the first label, I guess, to release music by Knife Hand Shop, which I later booked to Hamburg, but this is a totally different story. So yeah, So One With Care by ONQ, a 5-track Italian cassette EP, sitting somewhere in between post-rock, noise rock, echoes of post-punk and dark, like goth adjacent melancholia. DHYANA Records 021 from 1999, hard to find, but still a seminal release, and one that stuck in my mind, even though I had it like stored away in like archival boxes for many years. I never forgot about this. So that says something about this tape and the importance of that one. So, but now, before I go into ramble mode, I'm out, gonna go into editing, uploading this one, and once again a shout out to all those who commented on my latest short. So I will put up more of those, and now editing and uploading. Bass Junkie out. See you on the next one.